I almost didn't film this video right now because it is super noisy in my house, but I felt like that would defeat the whole point of this video. So we're powering through and here we go. The funny thing is that you probably can't even hear the noise, so it only bothers me. I have always been the kind of person who just goes for it. I love to jump into the deep end of the pool first. And because of this, I've been able to pursue so many of my dreams. I've also pursued some of them in public as I was working in the film industry and I was working in front of the camera as an actor and behind the camera as a producer. So I have very publicly had to share some of my wins and my L's. For some people, that might be a little bit difficult to do. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I've noticed and some of the things that have helped me to jump in headfirst into any challenge or dream that I've wanted to pursue and overcome. The first thing is prioritization, setting up a pecking order. I think something that really comforts me is that I can do everything, but not everything all at once. Something like that can really help you to define what you need to be focusing on first. And the thing is that if you have a really big dream and you break it down into smaller tasks and goals that you are able to manage and do every day, then every day you are one step closer to accomplishing those dreams. A little bit every day goes a long way over time. If you're anything like me, you probably come up with 153 ideas every single day, which is why I have an ideas journal. So in my ideas journal, I basically dump everything whenever I come up with something. So I have a physical notebook and I also have my notes app on my iPhone. And the reason that I have two is because I don't always have my physical notebook, but I always have my phone. And so there is never an excuse to just dump my ideas. This can be so therapeutic because it's like your idea isn't going away. It's not disappearing. And you can have this amazing idea and you feel bad because you're not executing on it. But if you write it down, it's kind of like releasing it. It's like you've done it, right? And so if you write it down, then this is a really great way of moving on and getting back to the things that you should be focusing on right now. And what's great is that you can have this reference and you can come back to this Bible of sorts of ideas and pick one out at a later time when you feel like you don't have any ideas. It can be a little bit tough to have the shiny object syndrome because I'll be working on one project and then that sparks an idea and inspires me to do something completely different. And then I feel like I have to jump into that immediately. And it just happens. You're probably a creative person and you are overwhelmed with all of the possibilities, but all of your ideas don't have to become reality right away. And just because you aren't working on them right now doesn't mean that you're never going to get to them. So if you do have a lot of ideas, maybe you've run into FOMO. That is the fear of missing out. And you wonder, hey, this idea that I've decided to dedicate the next 3 to 6 months to, is it a good idea? Is it what I should be working on right now? And honestly, sometimes you just don't know until you do it for a long time. I have worked on businesses for 2, 3, 4 years, and it wasn't until that 4-year mark that I realized that that business wasn't going to work for me. Whether it's because it wasn't bringing in enough revenue, or it was something that was mentally or emotionally taxing, or it was just something that nobody really wanted and there wasn't enough demand for it. So the way that I combat FOMO is by having a FOMO rule book. And basically what that does is it outlines what I define to be the right choice. So some examples of this can be, is it going to bring me a big paycheck? Is it something that leaves a positive impact? Is it something that influences or inspires many people? Is it something that I am extremely passionate about? And these are just examples. You would have to create your own criteria for what goes into the FOMO rulebook. But anytime that you have an idea and you are seriously considering investing time and energy into this idea, then it might be a good idea to go through this checklist of your FOMO rulebook and see if everything gets ticked off. Remember that it's always better to make informed choices than just following whims. Although I'm all about spontaneity and I love it when people get inspired and jump into the deep end like I do, it's still important to be informed and know why you're jumping into this idea. Your dreams won't wait, but that subscribe button will. Exactly. So if you're enjoying this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more videos from me. Maybe you might be overthinking whatever it is that you want to start. And I don't want to say perfectionism because I feel like that's kind of a taboo word and people kind of are like, oh, I'm not a perfectionist. But there is a little bit of perfectionism in that overthinking. When you're overthinking, you start to plan things too much, you're thinking too much, and that's kind of the same as perfectionism, where you want things to be a specific way before you begin. And there's a few things that could be contributing to this. It's even possible that you might be self-sabotaging. Maybe you're hesitant because deep down you actually don't want to succeed. Or maybe you are afraid of failure. Maybe you're also thinking about things that you shouldn't be thinking about, like, what will people think? All of this self-sabotaging is a part of overthinking. And something you can do to overcome that is thinking about the value that your idea is going to provide instead of its perfection. Is this going to inspire people? Is it going to help people? Animals? Is it something that's going to help you? Is it something that you've always wanted to do and now you have the opportunity to do it? What is the value that this project or idea that you want to start is going to provide? When you focus more on the value, that leaves less time and brain power to overthink things and enter into that perfectionist mode. Remember, trust the process. Just because you've started something doesn't mean that it's permanent or forever. You're going to be able to keep working on this and make it better and improve it in all the ways that you want to. But don't let that improving stop you from starting altogether, because you never know what is this amazing thing that you can build if you just start from scratch. And improving it over time, I'm sure will end up being a more rewarding process. I honestly hope that this video has inspired you in some way to start that thing that you've been wanting to do and have been hesitating or have put away for a long time. And I want you to start thinking about working on it. This is a sign for you to start. Thanks always for watching. For now, I'm gonna go. So I will see you when I see you. The noise wasn't that bad.